We were talking about Gary had a party at his house, and I did leave early. The only reason everyone's making a fuss is because everything centers around me.
No. That's not true,
Most
Howard.
people would leave a party, you wouldn't even notice.
That is not true. If you have a party of 500 people and one person leaves, you're not noticed.
No, I was there for 2.5 hours. I was there long enough.
You walked out of a dinner.
No, I didn't.
Yes, you did.
I did not. I ate the whole fucking dinner. They dragged out that dinner.
You walked out before the main course was served.
If I show up for a party and someone decides to torture me, I don't have to sit there and be tortured.
You have become the queen. That's what you're doing. You are the queen.
Yeah, evidently.
And so
I didn't think so. I thought Artie was the queen.
Everything must be to your liking.
No.
And when you decide it's over, it's over.
Robin, I'm not even going to talk to you. You didn't show up to Gary's party. Let's not forget that.
I'm simply telling you about you.
You weren't sick. You had a tickle in your throat. You're fucking full of shit.
I still feel like I might be coming down with something.
No, you're fine. I don't. You look healthy as a horse.
Yeah, right.
You're barreling. I see your voice is very strong this morning.
I have to yell over you.
You're yelling every minute.
You won't listen.
And you know the problem is I was late, so Fred's the only one with credibility. He's got to.
And he won't say anything.
He's got to argue it.
I've already gone on record as I thought it was a big mistake, but I also think it was a mistake showing the party at 7 instead of 6.
This is Fred who disappears too, by the way, early.
But wait a minute, Fred. They called the party for 7.
Sir, I don't know how that has relevance to this proceeding, but
you don't. Half the time, you don't even show up to stuff. You're another one.
Everybody's
showing up and leaving in the middle of are two different things.
Hey, aren't you the same guy who Jackie took to dinner and you fought with your wife at the Rainbow Room? Talk about rude. Oh, he left. He stormed out of there without even an explanation.
I thought he stayed.
Excuse me, I'm not saying that was right. But you can't use that. You can't. Two wrongs do not make a right. You're wrong on this one.
Two wrongs don't make a right, but where the fuck were you that night? Look who's talking.
Well, here's the deal. I was in the middle of splitting up with my wife, so I guess that wasn't the best time to go out for dinner.
Yeah, you shouldn't have been celebrating somebody's anniversary with them.
You can't escape on this one, man. You made a faux pas, and that's it.
Can I ask you one question, Howard?
I did not make a faux pas.
You did.
I didn't.
Totally.
You know what? Somebody brought up the point that you were chastising Richard for drinking too much at the party a week ago.
I was. He was embarrassing.
Howard, I'm sorry we fucked up your quiet dinner with Robin. But really, I want to congratulate you. I came from the middle of nowhere in Kansas, and this guy gave me a chance. I owe everything to you, Howard. And I'm not just speaking, and it's not the wine speaking. I really mean it.
And then you said your excuse for leaving was you drank too much?
I just got very, very tired. I couldn't keep my eyes open. I was been there for 2.5 hours. It's an hour drive back to the city. I was tired. I couldn't keep my eyes open. I was feeling a tickle in the back of my throat.
You probably stayed awake the whole time you were driving in the car.
I did.
Talking about everything that went on at the party.
I read a chess book, and Beth was annoyed by that.
Oh, my. So you weren't tired. You could read a chess book
I was
in the
exhausted.
back of the car.
While we were having the strawberry shortcake, you were reading a chess book.
And Artie was experiencing the best part of the evening.
Well, yesterday on the wrap-up show...
good.
Well, I'm sorry, Gary, you wanted to say something.
No, I just want to say, for the 3 people who are in there, because Benji again is missing...
what's going on with Benji?
I don't know.
Is he coming to work or not?
I don't know. I just noticed a second.
I thought there was a ruling that this was supposed to be the end for him if he was ever doing this again.
Well, we'll talk to him about that.
Is that right? All right. Well, maybe we'll have to fire him today.
But did you notice that there's 3 people sitting in here, and each one of them has just said that maybe you made a faux pas, and you've viciously attacked all 3 of them.
Yeah.
Well, first of all...
Because he's wrong, and when he's wrong, he attacks.
I mean, you really...
First of all, Robin did not attend.
It wasn't like
Fred
I didn't
did a terrible thing to Jackie. And
8 years
everyone's
ago.
such an expert. 8 years? It's like yesterday to me.
Excuse me, that was like
yesterday. You weren't even there.
1998. You weren't there.
Neither were you, Robin.
We weren't invited.
You didn't see the way I left.
Wait a minute. I'm talking about Fred's incident.
I'm talking about my incident.
Look, I heard
But I will go on record. I'm still married, so...
First of all, let me say this. The thing that puts it over the top for me is you standing there yelling.
No, you don't. You're
yes,
getting
you
the wrong.
Yelled through the house.
You weren't there.
You yelled through the house.
You weren't there.
You bellowed, as Fred said.
You weren't there, so you have no right to comment. Here is the wrap-up show yesterday where Artie, my good pal, even ripped me
really
one.
ripped you.
Listen, and that fucking retard Ralph, who is so inappropriate, I can't even take him anywhere.
Ralph had a definite
He had
opinion.
a load of crap to say about you.
Yeah, well, you know what? He's fucking fired, too.
There's no excuse for what he did. I mean, look, we all love Howard. Howard's the reason we're all here. In a way, he might not realize this, but we're all sort of around pins and needles with him sometimes if we think he's too tired because he works his ass off. And his hard work has resulted in all of us having a job. And you do want to please him, you know. And when he got up, it was just... You know,
it was abrupt.
It was abrupt. Everybody was affected by it. It did affect the mood for a little while. He claims Beth agreed with it. I bet if we got Beth on the phone, she would have been mortified by what he did. I mean, you know, and he's wrong on this one. You know, a lot of times he's right. He was just wrong on this one. He should have apologized and said, it's my bad. I was tired. But you know, I'm glad Robin brought it up. I applaud her for doing that because I certainly wouldn't have the balls to do it.
That's exactly what I did, Artie. I said to Gary,
I'm
very tired.
But you're not apologizing. You're saying I'm tired.
Well, I said, gee, I didn't know I ruined the party. I mean, I was there 2.5 hours. I didn't see Fred didn't come over and talk to me once. I didn't know anybody was looking for me.
But and then you're saying
suddenly
that...
I leave. It's like God left the room. I'm a guy.
Again,
I'm tired.
You're making this like
you know.
You were everybody needed you there so much.
Yeah.
But the invitation was because they wanted you there.
Well, wrap dinner up.
And then they went through great trials and to great lengths
I hear
to
what you're
make
saying.
it a very
I hear what you're
special
saying.
evening.
I was being tortured by the slow service.
You weren't being tortured.
I was, and you're full of shit because you didn't show up.
You refused to just
You're
go
annoying
along
me.
and be flexible. It had
You're
to
annoying.
be your way.
That's her job.
How's a host?
Yeah, and by the way, it was certainly your way because you were home in bed and I wanted to join you.
How does a host feel if you're saying you were tortured?
Right, yeah.
No, he served too slow, and it was Chef Rui.
Chef Jean-Louis.
Chef Jean-Louis.
Who apparently is a big deal.
He's a huge
In
deal.
Connecticut.
Oh, here we go in Connecticut. In the world.
Please.
He's like one of 22 guys who do what he does.
I love Chef Louis. I loved his food. I had no problem with the food. It was fantastic. I had a great evening. At 10:30, I could no longer keep my eyes open.
But you insulted the chef.
No, I didn't.
You were an hour away. You left at 9:35.
Yeah, you didn't make it to 10:30.
Well, whatever. In the world of Connecticut, Chef Rui's number one.
No, look, here's the deal.
I know the number one chef in Guam.
Gary pointed this out, too. You have become a Manhattan snob.
No, I'm not.
Yes.
I had a great
Absolutely.
night.
You're a Manhattan snob
you're just piling
who
on, Robin.
thinks that Chef Rui
Didn't show up. Didn't show up. Didn't show up. End of sentence.
possibly be any good because he doesn't work in the city.
Last minute, you were tired. Last minute,
Last minute,
you were too tired. When did she call you, Gary?
About 4 o'clock.
Yeah, 4 fucking o'clock.
What do you mean 4 fucking o'clock?
You didn't know you had a tickle in your throat earlier in the day?
I was giving
Bullshit.
it every chance.
Big empty chair there.
Oh, yeah,
Guy
big
did
empty
the chair. Yeah. Don't comment on me.
Don't deflect.
Full of
I
bullshit.
certainly didn't disrupt
You're the rudest person on the
entire
planet.
evening. I didn't disrupt the entire evening.
Yes, you did.
Bellowing, Beth, where are you?
I didn't do that.
You did too.
She was disrupting the party by taking so long, but taking the hostess away from the party. I wanted to go.
You slammed the door on the musicians.
I didn't slam any door. Gary, tell the truth. I went over to Gary. I said, Gary, I'm cold. Is it okay if I shut this one door?
I said it wasn't like when Michael shuts the door on Kay at the end of The Godfather, because the door was made of glass.
I asked permission. I was I'm sitting there freezing. That's another thing. Don't freeze me out because you get some fucking musicians in your backyard.
Again,
what they would do is sit in the backyard.
Do you have a shawl, Granny?
No one was in the shawl. There was nobody in the backyard.
The musicians are like,
I did it for everyone. Everyone was sitting there freezing.
The musicians are like, are we supposed to play for the deer?
Oh, it was so annoying.
Oh,
whose idea was that?
Goodness, he was irritated.
Hey, can you come back
now
soon?
Ralph
was brilliant.
I mean, that was incredibly rude. I mean, first of all, to shut the door, I didn't realize it was such a big party. He just like closed the door on like some people that were playing and music was coming into the room.
No, you know, hold on a
he
second.
was a little chilly.
It's not as bad as it sounds.
Wait. Why are you apologizing?
Because you had to be there. I'm saying you had to be there. It's a glass door and the other door next to it. So it wasn't like at the end of The Godfather when and Michael
I
closes
think,
the door on Kate.
but I think, I think at the end we all lit a candle for the soul of Howard Corleone. But
That's
Mary.
horrible. And how can you not be in touch with your feelings, Gary, to be upset? That's like Tony Soprano walking out on parties at Christopher's. It's incredibly
I agree. I agree with Ralph.
Oh, look at Ralph talking about being in touch with feelings. This is a fucking mutant who can't even hold a relationship with a woman or a human being on the planet. Sits in his apartment all day trying to figure out how he's going to work. I'm getting it together. How old are you again? 40 fucking years old? You haven't figured out how to get it together? And he's commenting on me?
This he's figured out.
Oh, this he figured out how I should behave. You got to fucking be kidding me.
Some woman called in and said it's your OCD. Do you think that has anything to do with it?
No, I was just, I was exhausted. I get up at 4 o'clock in the morning during the week, and I tell you, this weekend, I don't know what my problem was. I got up at 5, and I'm like, the day goes on, and I'm just fucking tired.
But again, Howard, you didn't fall asleep in the car.
No.
You read a book.
No, I can't sleep in a car.
Well, then you might as well have lasted another 15 minutes.
And then I would have gotten home at 11:30.
And
when did you exactly get there, Robin?
You lasted through dessert.
Yeah, and by the way, how long were you at the party that you were invited to?
It's not about me. This is
I
about
wasn't
you.
feeling
As you
well.
say, it's always about you.
Oh, it's about you, my dear.
Gary has a hard shell, and I've learned to have a hard
Mary,
shell.
you too. You're the hostess. How can you? And you're busy packing up shit for these two?
No one is better to Ralph than me. I don't think there's a person on the planet who's good to Ralph, and anyone who is, it's because of me. That's why Sam Simon has him to the house.
I was gonna say,
that
Sam,
fucking ingrate for these two. For these two, jealous fuck. He's off my fucking list. Ralph, no bonus this year. Go suck my dick. Let's see somebody else pay you for coming over at a half hour a week. The guy's whole job is a half hour a week. Then he goes down to the Gap and buys me a shirt. Cocksucker.
Oh, he's sleeping through this. He's going to be sorry.
I am so glad that I work with so many not rude people.
No, nobody's saying we're all perfect. Artie was late. There's not a person
Artie
in
was
here
late, but that's okay.
There's not a person in here
if you show up late and hold up dinner, and you
guilt-free.
if you show up late and hold up dinner for a half hour, so I'm supposed to sit there while they keep the food warm for Artie.
Well, Artie, you have to think about that.
That's not incredibly rude.
That 15 minutes you cost him could have been him staying for dessert.
It wasn't 15 minutes, Robin. It was more. It was an hour.
It was an hour.
What time did you show up, Artie? 8 o'clock. The party started at 7.
15 minutes.
No, because the whole thing was pushed off a half hour. Dinner didn't start till 8:30 because of you.
Oh, it didn't start till 8:30?
No, because he had to have the tour of the house when he got there.
No, we sat down
he had to have the tour.
That was wrong. You should not have had a tour. You were late for the tour.
But I'm incredibly
rude.
rude.
I walked in with a sign that said, "Give me a tour."
Have a tour after dinner.
You said I won't eat until I get a tour.
Ladies and gentlemen, I am the least rude person on the planet.
That's why this is such a
This fucking guy
thing.
shows up and he decides at the Grand Poobah.
I don't believe for a second.
I'm Artie. I'm out of control. Blah 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 blah.
I don't believe
you're out of control.
No, I do not believe for a second you left on time to get there. You
didn't.
I left at
7 o'clock. She's right.
Late.
The two of you can go fuck yourself.
She did. She's right. He showed up. He left his house at 7.
I left my house at 6:30 and I knew it'd be late.
I'm disorganized. It's okay.
You just woke up late and threw something on and jumped in your car.
His pajamas.
You should have wore your pajamas to the fucking party.
Hey, dude, honestly, I love you. I never would lay a trip on you for showing up late, but boy, you're fucking piling on me, and I'm going to tell you something.
Hey, look.
You're the reason my dinner
sorry
started
for
late.
piling on you.
My dinner started late because of you,
No,
pal.
it didn't.
Yes.
No, it did
You showed
not.
up an hour late, and then
The dinner was supposed to
the
start
chef
at 8,
delayed
Artie.
everything.
So you left
the
the
chef delayed everything till you could get there. So, but if the
No,
dinner
he
would have started,
didn't.
yes, it would have started at 8 o'clock. They pushed
Howard,
off
if
till
you're
8:30.
serious about this,
I'm
you're
very
out of your
serious.
fucking mind.
It's fine, but I can't sit there all night.
Gary,
You didn't
Waiting
sit
for
there all
you.
night. Clearly you can't, so you didn't sit there all night.
Right,
You just
so
got
don't
up
blame
alive.
me. It's as much your fault for not showing up on time. The
right,
party was
okay.
7 o'clock.
Well,
Sorry,
well,
dude.
Ask the people hosted the party who
Ask
was
Gary.
ruder?
Gary came over to me. He said, "Hey, Howard, dinner's going to be late. Artie's late."
Yeah,
I said,
Gary
"Oh."
admitted that he pushed it back.
I said,
for
"What's
you.
wrong? What happened to Artie?"
Once again, Robin must have had a bug at the party because she
I
wasn't
know
there to say that.
everything.
So Gary says to me, "What went wrong?" Gary says to me, "I said, is Artie okay?" He goes,
Gary, could you come in
got
here,
lost.
please, and explain
And
who
even
was
in the email,
the biggest rude
Do
asshole
you
at that
have, do you have
party?
GPS?
Yeah, I do.
Oh, you do? Did you put it on in your car?
I veered off the wrong exit by mistake, and I got right back
You had
on.
GPS.
Yeah, well, I don't need GPS.
So,
I'm not you. I
Put
know
it
my
on.
way around the block.
Yeah, you know your way, but you're a half hour late. Excuse me, an hour late. 8 o'clock. The party was called at 7. I'd like to call Gary as a witness.
Yeah, go ahead.
Gary, did you not walk over to me and say dinner's going to be late because Artie's? And I went, oh,
I'm going to tell you
shit.
exactly how it went. Here's how it went. You ready?
Yeah.
Artie called me at 7:40.
Right.
Told me he was running behind.
Yeah.
Told me where he was.
That's when he's got in his car.
Emphatically said, guys, start dinner without me.
Right.
Okay.
You decided to start dinner late because you didn't want to leave him out.
So I figured it would. He sounded like he was around 20 minutes away. I went to the chef and I said, we had decided we were going to start dinner at 8. I said, could you push it to 8:15?
Right.
And he said, I can do that. We sat down at about 8:20.
Right,
And dinner,
and dinner was
started
served at 8:30.
because it's not an exact science putting food on the table.
Oh, but I'm the fucking asshole.
Well, they never said it was
But it was
8:30.
my-
Well, I wasn't going to
Howard.
bring it. I wasn't looking to pile on Artie. But,
But it-
Christ, if you're going to attack me, I mean, the fucking guy, he saunters in. Hey, it's Artie.
You were wrong.
I
You
just
were
did
wrong.
Entourage.
No, you were wrong in what you did, so you're trying to pile on me now.
No,
You're being
I
ridiculous.
was ready to eat.
Everybody else at the party,
eat dinner.
Everybody else at the party was going, God, Artie was so late, we can't get through this main course.
Sorry,
You're
Artie.
the only one who got up tired like a little bro.
Artie probably slept all afternoon. That's why he was late. And he shows up live for the party. And he stays there till midnight.
Yeah, he
Sorry.
can stay because he got up late.
Sure. Oh, yeah.
And so
Artie time.
I worked
The one
all day
thing-
Friday. I worked for 12 hours
Wow.
Friday. You want to day with
Oh.
What were you
Sorry.
doing? Construction?
Well, no, what do we do here? Construction? He's bitching about his job. What do we do
I
here?
didn't bitch about my job. I showed up to the party on time. You didn't. I
You
have
sit
no
there
problem
tired
with
like
it.
you just got out of Auschwitz.
But I don't have a problem with you showing up late. But don't fuck me up by saying I'm an asshole for leaving
I
early.
admitted I'm wrong for being late. You can't admit you were wrong for what you did. That's the difference.
I wasn't wrong. You were wrong, and you fucked my dinner
no,
up.
I did not fuck your dinner up. I'm not the reason you left at 10 o'clock.
Apologize to me.
You
Personally.
should be apologizing to Gary and Mary.
Why?
but you should be
Because you
apologizing.
showed up late. I apologize that Artie showed up late.
apologize to him on the phone.
Wait a minute.
Bullshit.
Another thing we should bring up,
And Ralph's a
because
fucker.
you were extremely rude to Mary.
I was not.
I understand from the wrap-up show that Mary had a special entry on the menu that was printed about Mary's dessert.
Absolutely.
She had a special
And again, Robin, I would have had Mary's dessert if Artie showed up on time.
But let me just say this.
I mean, at what point am I eating dessert? At midnight?
That is
Artie
such
was
bullshit.
not throwing the party.
Robin, you would have gone nuts. There was no hope in sight that the dessert was coming out till 10 o'clock.
But let me
They
say
were just
this.
they were making
You live in
presentations.
your own world. This is no hope in
You
sight.
do, Mr. Late.
No hope in sight. That's the
Artie
dessert was coming
time.
out.
Artie, you ever hear CPT? This is AT. Artie time. I'll show up when Artie shows up. Artie's got to do what Artie's got to do, right?
You leave in Howard world. You leave whenever the fuck you want.
No.
No matter what anybody's doing.
I come to the party on time. You don't.
You
That's
get
the
up,
difference.
You get up, which means, Ronnie's got to get up and call Air Force One down the street to come pick you up.
I didn't ask him to do that.
Mary's got to get up and pack shit up.
Basically, the whole
Gary's got to
table
say,
was
right.
I didn't
the
ask
whole-
Mary to pack anything up. Mary
Let
got
me
up and
What
did
is
it.
she going to do?
Let me
She
say-
worked hard on the dessert. She wants you to have
I
it.
want
Show up
people-
on time, Artie.
I want people...
I said I'm sorry you didn't.
I'm
want-
sorry you were late.
I'm
Wait a
sorry
minute,
you
wait a
were a
minute.
dickhead and left fucking early.
I want people to
I was
realize...
there on time.
Listen, Howard, because you weren't there to see this either.
Robin, you weren't there.
Mary had 3 different desserts.
Good.
To present...
Present them sometime within the day you invited
Take it
me.
easy. Let me tell you what happened.
Robin, why are you still
Because-
talking? You weren't there, honey. Because you had a tickle. I had a tickle too.
Yeah, but your tickle happened in the middle of the
But I
dinner.
showed up.
Because she had already damaged one of the cakes to give you guys a doggy bag.
Right.
That's her problem.
presentation was completely destroyed.
Oh, please.
Presentation was ruined. Me and Tim Sabian were mortified.
By the size of some of the guys here, it's a good thing the presentation was ruined.
we could barely eat it.
Good thing they missed dessert. I saw Artie was really upset the presentation was
But,
off.
for a chick, that must be a big deal, a presentation.
She was fine. She survived.
Look, she worked hard on that, and I heard it in her voice yesterday. She said, because of who you are,
all right.
she's developed a thick skin. What does that tell you? A thick skin.
Yeah.
She's become toughened, so she can't feel the hurt.
She's got a thick skin because she fucks Baba Booey.
Oh, stop it.
Are you kidding me? All right.
You guys.
I stayed the whole time because it started on time. Artie wasn't there to delay it.
I was going to
We
go.
were waiting for His Highness to show
I was
up.
going to go to Ed Bradley's funeral, but I had a tickle in my throat.
You were going to go.
The two of you queens, him with his I get there when I want to get there.
Oh, that's what I said. I walked in like, fuck off.
I'm leaving when I want to leave.
Who cares?
And again, you make it sound like I walked in and said, Gary, if I don't get a tour right now, I am killing somebody.
You took your time. Didn't you got a drink, I bet?
You know, by the way.
No, I had the tour before the drink.
He had drinks. He had the Jack and Coke. I said, Artie, what are you drinking? Jack and Coke. We had to wait for Artie to have a cocktail, settle in.
Yeah.
It was fine.
I had to get a crowbar and open up the door that Howard closed to get to the drinks and the violin.
That's true. It was outside the bar. Yeah.
It was?
Yeah, in the cold.
It wasn't that cold.
So, Gary, as the host of the dinner party, who was in the wrong, Artie or Howard?
I don't think there's a definitive answer on that. I mean, Artie was wrong to be late, but it was inevitably my decision to delay the dinner. But Artie was wrong to be late, but we figured that part out, and Howard was wrong to leave the dinner in the middle of the last course because another 5 or 10 minutes would have done it. And it was sort of abrupt and just sort of weird the way he left. So I think they're both in the wrong.
But if you were hard pressed to pick one or the other, whose story, whose side of the argument would you take?
I would take Artie's side of the argument.
Howard is wrong with the dinner party. He left before the main course. You don't leave before dessert. He knows it, and now he's deflecting on everybody.
One word answer, Artie or Howard?
I would say Howard was wrong.
Definitely the most wrong was getting up and leaving early. So Howard takes the prize for being the most wrong in this particular incident.
Howard or Artie, who would you choose?
Well, I can't just answer yes or no on Artie or Howard. If you're going to say one was more socially, maybe an etiquette person would have a problem with it, probably more so, not that Howard left, but the way he left would be more. But it's such not a big deal.
So Howard, you said it.
Huh?
You said it, Howard's wrong.
Yeah.
It wasn't something that we both were genuinely pissed about. There was a laugh at the end of everything. So it had no danger of becoming something real serious. But for a little while, if someone is that wrong, my God, you have to stand on your own, and that's what I did. I mean, come on.
It seems like the longer you've been here, the more, I don't want to say assertive, but like the more willing you are to sort of rise up to Howard.
Well, the longer you work with people, you get to know them better, you're more comfortable in pointing out when they're unbelievably wrong, like this time.
Thanks, man.
I also point out